So how was that session, guys? There was a lot of combat.
A lot of combat is not one way to put it. I feel like we leaned heavily more into the role play.
It was nice.
And
I liked it.
I did really like the trying to investigate this guy's cart because like I heard something that didn't sound right, and then like making this whole production of a fight without actually getting into a fight and just like not finding anything the whole time. And just being like, well, I guess we're complete and total.
So was there like was
jerk.
there like something going on with that we didn't catch
Maybe.
that you could give out?
Hey, I do want to ask you, is Tomlin okay? That you made me roll a d20. You made me roll a d20 and I rolled a 9 on it.
On what?
Of whether
or not the crazy guy.
Right after I rolled the 28 persuasion on making this guy believe that Tomlin was a god.
Yeah.
You made me roll a 20 and I got a 9. Why did you make me roll that 20?
Oh, that was for the next encounter, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't. I did not make you roll a 20 without telling you what it was for. If you.
Oh, okay. So that was the encounter.
Probably didn't hear.
Yeah, because that's when the 2 merchants came out.
Is Tomlin gonna be okay? I feel like I have to.
Now you're thinking. Now you're thinking about the consequences that are inherent in your actions.
I feel like crazy guy's gonna show up. And they're just gonna be best friends. I feel like that's what's gonna happen.
Maybe. I mean,
out of curiosity, Eric, was that guy inspired by one of the characters from Baldur's Gate, Bibberbang guy?
No.
Not at all?
No, it wasn't.
No?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
It wasn't intentional. In fact, most of my character traits I'll just make up on the spot. Now, it may be one of those things if I created it and didn't think of that guy in mind, but I just thought like, let's make him crazy. And that's what I did.
I very much enjoyed the crazy. It's just he's crazy.
Yeah. He's just crazy.
Yeah.
He's just crazy. So.
Because I was thinking this guy's like older. He's probably like senile or something. And I feel like we're bullying this guy, trying to figure out like, is he smuggling something? Like, what's going on? But like when I heard the clatter sound, I thought like
the clattering.
I thought like, wait, maybe he's got like 3 goblins like hiding in his cart.
Right. That's what I was thinking.
Or something like
thinking that there was something
that would have been
alive
really funny.
Yeah.
When I pulled back the tarp, I thought there were going to be 3 little goblins with ready action pointing at me. Right? That's what I thought was going to happen.
Yeah. So, sometimes the best way to keep you on your toes is to not do anything.
With our own paranoia.
I can't.
Yeah,
I have too much paranoia in this game.
I felt like we had too much paranoia, and then like with the fact that like those merchants kind of had fake wares, or at least some of it was fake. We haven't really determined whether or not the rest of it was fake. But like I feel like I know why people don't like Pumpkin Town now.
So.
Well, I mean, I feel like with the killing of those people, right? Where it was like Kano gave them an option for them to just like leave and go away, and then they didn't, and then they thunder waved all of us, like did a spell casting against all of us, not just Kano.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, if I let this dude get away, like. Zephyr would not do that. Like, maybe me as Maria, I would be like, yeah, I should let him run.
Well,
but
if
Zephyr's
it didn't make you feel any better, I was going to chase him down.
I was like, that's bad PR. Like, if we let that go,
I don't think there's a way he gets out of that alive, honestly.
Yeah.
No.
He has 30 feet and dash, and that's it for movement.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. If they had taken Kano's thing of, like, when he, like, dropped them and was like, look, you guys can go.
Yeah.
And he didn't take that, I was kind of like, yeah. It was kind of a weird situation though, because PR...
I feel like Jarthur, like the fact that he he actually cast a spell at him, but like it was only because he got hit, and then he's reacting in anger, and he still didn't go for the lethal option. I feel like that was kind of, but like after realizing that like doing that ritual to see like what this was and realizing it was just faked, like he's starting to feel less bad about it because like craftsmen are like people who pawn themselves off as craftsmen. Is not one of Jarther's favorite things, if you know what I'm saying.
Sure. Yeah. So.
Well, it was just a weird situation of like I feel like we as a party for some weird reason we are creating like a PR. Like we are creating a corporation against the Rose Thorn Trading Company.
Not really, but sort of.
No, but yeah, we kind of are. Like we told them that we were from Lotus Vale, I think. Yeah, because we at least mentioned it. And if we had been seen as people who, threatened and then, killed one of their friends in front of them.
I feel like at some point Jarther's gonna have to sit down Kano and like talk to him about like when it is reasonable and like at what point when he's threatening somebody that Kano will get back up, and at what point we'll just cut him out and leave him to dry.
Sure, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, that's for you.
Well, that's like maybe a role play thing that can happen maybe like after the next episode or something like that.
Sure. I feel like that's only for you, because I feel like me and John's characters, me and Zoro, are just a lot more like, yeah, sure, we'll go along with the threatening guy. Like,
I gotta love being the only good character in the thing.
Here's the thing: it's not like you're the only. We're not evil. We're just.
Well, my alignment is chaotic good, but I'm the only one who's good.
So Zoro and Zephyr are apathetic, I think is.
Yeah, we're apathetic is the word I was trying to say.
What's your alignment, Chris? What's Kano's alignment, I guess?
My alignment is everything, for the record.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
I think I did chaotic neutral.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's literally a party of chaotic neutral and then one chaotic good.
Yeah.
What am I supposed to do with that? Like,
be chaotic.
It's a tough situation where you have to go into every single situation and be like, oh wow, that wasn't great. But
the fact that like all of us are chaotic is a little crazy to me.
Yeah, but I feel like it makes sense.
It's fine.
If that makes any sense.
Yeah, chaotic neutral.
I feel like if anything, like John's like kind of slipping into lawful neutral.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like John isn't really a chaotic neutral.
Well,
I think I'm a pretty good chaotic neutral.
When you take on more responsibility as well as just a person, you typically become more lawful than chaotic.
Oh yeah.
So
I feel like my character though is very hits the very chaotic very well, because I'm just randomly making people believe that people are gods. You know?
Yeah. Also, I applaud you guys for like role playing with each other, because I think that's probably like the first session where that's really happened.
Yeah, I think
that's what I really liked about this session was that we had a moment where there was something happening and all three of our characters had different ways of dealing with it.
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean, I feel like again, Jarther is chaotic, but his kind of chaotic is like small pranks and like that kind of thing. And like when you throw him into a fight where like morally our group is in the wrong, like what is he going to do there? It's a little difficult. And like Kano has saved his life like probably 4 or 5 times at this point. So like I feel like it's just difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. I feel like you're playing such a character that's different from the rest of us because you are actually good. Like deep down, you are actually good, and the rest of us could almost.
He's not even just good. He's also like idealistic.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like the whole reason we're going after the Rose Thorn is because I feel like for you guys it's mostly profit and like you see it as a threat to our town, but like for me it's like more personal and idealistic. I feel like,
I could
you know.
almost see the party having like like all three of us having a clash with Jarther later on.
Oh yeah, for sure. I feel like John was saying that his character has kind of like grown in some ways because of Jarther's influence, and that's just so weird because like I was like making this character to be like the immature like uh forever college student like who would be kind of a pushover and like end up doing what other people say a lot, but just kind of have like a, I don't know, not vindictive, but like petulant way about him if he didn't get his way. But now he's like the moral compass for the group. And it's like way too much responsibility. And like, I mean, there's a couple times where like there was a like tough decision and like we just let Kano do it or let somebody else do it. And like they picked the wrong moral decision. And Kane, like Jarther was like, and I'm washing my hands of that because I didn't make it.
Yeah.
But now he's like in this position where like he could have done something to stop Kano in this stuff, this part,
And the fact that the
and they ended
NPCs
up
were
dead.
looking towards him. The NPCs were like, "Stop him!" Like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
You're gonna have a nightmare.
But, like,
of this.
I feel like he's like at the same time, like Kano did put the guy down, and then they still attacked us. So I feel like that and the fact that they were obviously either they were trying to sell fake products.
So
It's something that's like absolving him a little bit.
so the whole
And it was also because Kano was trying to get it for him too.
so my whole thing when I did that was I had a feeling it was fake. And so since I couldn't roll for it, I was going to try to get it for free. Or at least get a big reduction. Like, hey, don't hurt me. I'll sell it to you for this. Eric didn't bite, which I'm proud of him.
I kind of feel like that's an interesting thing because, like, if it was fake and they knew it was fake,
yeah,
and they're
Maybe
getting
they don't
threatened,
know it's fake.
would they have tried selling it for less if they were getting threatened? Like, would that have been, or are they just trying to sell the bit? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, so all my decisions that I make in the moment when you try to do stuff is truly based off what I think that character would do if I was in their shoes. So that was my decision for not biting. It wasn't of, oh, I want to foil his plans. It's what would this person do, and that's what I think they would do.
I mean, that's fair enough.
So,
No, I
But,
think
I mean,
that-
obviously.
you know, when he said ring of protection, you know, Kano
yeah.
straight goes, you know, I didn't role play it out, but, you know, you get the flashback, you know, and he's like, hey, this will help Jarther. Because, like, I even role played it, you know, you're my only friend. I want you safe here. And so that's why I was like, anything I do, I'm going to do it for the party.
You know what?
Specifically
And
for
that's
Jarther.
interesting. Because I was thinking that
I
afterward.
loved like the flavor of like Jarther just being like super mad and like taking the ring to try to see if it's fake and like just basically like walking up to Kano, who's digging graves at the moment, shoving it onto his thing, taking a few steps back, and just absolutely letting him have it with a firebolt.
Yeah.
That was like, and then immediately being like, oh, I didn't mean to actually hurt you, and like freaking out because of it.
Now,
It's such
I'm not even going to
sibling.
lie. Right before Eric asked, I was actually tempted to pick you up and just backhand you.
I don't know if they heard me ask.
I don't think they did.
So basically, after you did that, I asked him, I'm like, I just need to know right now, do you plan on fighting back? Because if so, I need to roll initiative. If not, then we role play. But if you want to roll initiative, this is where we do it. So I
Oh
don't
boy,
think y'all
that
heard
would have
that,
been
but
bad.
that
But I
was-
told him,
I-
I said, I'm going to role play this. Because that was, as soon as you said it, I'd already said, I'm going to role play.
Yeah. Two
I feel
things
like-
I'll mention
yeah.
about that specific encounter. First off, Jarthur, I believe, would know that a ring of protection requires attunement. And that 3 seconds on a ring is
Don't
not
think he
enough
was-
time to attune to a ring to
Don't
tell if it's
think-
magical or not.
I don't think he was thinking about that in that moment. I think he was like just kind of disgusted
Yeah.
and,
Just trying to make
and
sense of
annoyed
it all.
and mad.
Yeah.
And like I think if this was like thematic in any way,
Yeah.
I'd probably take Barbarian as my next level up just because of this,
Yeah.
But it's
I mean, you
not. It doesn't
can.
work like that. So yeah, I don't have
And-
enough strength.
And then also, I love the line of Kano where he's like, "You may not understand this, but what I do is for the good of the party." Just storm off. It's like,
yeah,
man.
just turn around.
It
That's cool.
feels like such silly.
I specifically
Like-
wanted that. Throw it in the face
Yeah.
and turn around and walk off.
Yeah.
Like these guys are actually siblings. Like when that entire thing was happening, I was like sure, I'm friends with both of them.
Yeah.
But like
Yeah.
these two, they're on a whole nother level
Yeah,
of
it's
like
different,
betrayal
yeah.
and hurt.
Yeah.
And also throughout that entire encounter, I was like, I'm just gonna be back here. Like, and then afterward, I was like, I wasn't on either side. There's
Yeah.
no way that they can.
There's
that
no reason you
Jarthur
would be on
mad.
either side.
No, but here's the thing. I was like, no way that Jarthur would be mad at me. And then Jarthur was lopping me in with
Oh yeah,
Kano
that's
because
true.
I didn't do anything, and I was like, but I only reacted after the.
You caught a couple
I
of
feel like-
strays that
I
were
feel
well
like-
deserved.
I feel like Jarthur, like expects better of Zephyr. Like
But
I
here's
feel
the
like he thinks that Zoro is kind of like impulsive and like gets himself into trouble a little too much, but like he has a much higher opinion of Zephyr, and like she has routinely like not picked up on stuff, and some of that is because like as players we're not really catching things quite as well as we should, but some of it is just like you're doing what Zephyr would do and not what Jarthur thinks Zephyr would do. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. And here's the thing is that Zephyr I feel like is so apathetic towards like
People who are not her or her brother.
people who are not me or my brother or people in my party now that like
Hmm.
I didn't even think of standing up for them. Like I didn't even like I thought about it,
It
but I was
didn't
like,
even occur to
Zephyr,
her.
Zephyr wouldn't think to de-escalate a situation for people that weren't being intimidated by Kano. Like I remember in like the second or third session, like where Kano wasn't allowed into the inn. I remember like de-escalating him and a few guards that wanted to hit him. And like when Jarthur mentioned that Zephyr didn't try to de-escalate the situation, I was like, that's true. I usually de-escalate the situation, but it's when the whole party is going to be in trouble unless we de-escalate the situation.
Hmm. Whereas this one, it was
Whereas
more of
this
a
one, it wasn't us that was going to be in trouble, it was them. And I was like,
yeah.
And see, and when I did that whole thing, my thought was, I figured if these two were merchants, I mean, in my head, their stat block's not going to be that high unless Eric pulled some kind of weird stunt. But I figured, 1-2 hits max, they're not going to kill me. So I was like, y'all could just stand back and I could probably deal with these two by myself.
but then that
hope
one
I
guy
was right,
thunderwaved
but-
us, Once that one guy did actual damage to us, it kind of was like, I'm sorry, dude.
For the record, they each had one spell scroll. The first spell scroll that was counterspelled would have hit his buddy and probably killed his buddy.
Well, see, that's
What
why
was
when you
the
said
spell?
it does fire or fireball or whatever you
Yeah,
said,
it's
and I was like, wait a minute.
burning hands, I think, is what
I was
it
like,
yeah.
it's going to hit him too if everybody.
Oh,
has
for
to
sure,
roll.
yeah. And it probably would have killed him. But after that, they had 9 hit points each. They each had one scroll. One had Thunderwave, one had Burning Hands. After that, their main attack was a mace, which I think was +2. No, it would have been +1 to hit with 1d6 minus 1 damage. That's what they had. They had no
Bullying the
intentions of
weak.
fighting you guys.
And
Yeah.
I will say I did screw up because when I said I had the guy by the neck, or I took my hand off his shoulder and put it on his neck,
Yeah.
I wanted to say I look at Jarther, and I completely blanked out because I wanted to make it look like he saw Jarther's face had a conscience,
Yeah.
and that's the reason
And
he
sat
put
him
him
down.
down and said go,
Yeah.
and then I botched that up.
Yeah.
But I feel like
but
it was
that's like a more of a
implied.
role
I feel like-
playing. I think I got it. I don't know if anybody watching would have gotten it, but who knows?
I feel like I got the fact that just that Kano put them down. I feel like I got the fact that he was at least listening to Jarther in the beginning.
I'm trying
And you
to.
did offer to let him go as well, in Kano's defense.
I have been
Now, when
trying
they tried to get away, he did kill them, but,
when, once the guy did the thunder wave,
yeah.
I was done letting any of them live.
Yeah.
At that point, it wasn't even me got hurt,
Sure,
but
yeah.
they got hurt.
I'll tell you his reasoning for doing Thunderwave was just to push you guys away so he could run away faster. He had no intention of staying and fighting.
Yeah, I got that.
Yeah,
As
I
soon as-
kinda understood
That was
As soon as
a
Thunderwave was
reposition,
the
get away
thing.
faster move. That's all it was. It wasn't even an offensive spell. It was just the
Oh,
only
no.
thing he had to get you guys away. So
me as a player, and almost me
Almost
as-
killed my horse though.
Exactly. I feel like
That's why I had that
I
whole
knew that the Thunderwave was
scene
to
of
help
me
him
like
get away.
taking care of my horse after.
Yeah, the scene of you brushing Kano while in the stable.
yeah.
Like I feel like as soon as we got
coming
to
after
town-
him with like the nasty
like-
horse brush and like try to like get his fur with it. And like I imagine Kano's just like looking there, like looking at me, like, and I'm like maybe brushing like where his stomach is, maybe his thigh or something, because I can't reach that high.
weirdly okay, never mind. I feel
like-
like
Yeah, but I
um,
tried to make it as like Kano knew it was a joke. That's why he did the purr. I don't know if the mic picked up when I was purring.
Yeah. I
My-
hope it did. It was
My
great purring.
voice was starting to give out.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's kind of unfortunate how that goes.
it is not. I feel like though it was really fun. I feel like as soon as after the town, I left and I was like, you two have your bromance, and I was just like, and now I become one with the populace, talking
Yeah.
to people.
I feel like we kind of had like a moment for each of our characters to have a little bit of time to
Yeah.
shine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is actually one thing I mentioned last week when I was talking to Chris and John after the game is one issue I find with a lot of players is they'll refuse to split the party because of the old adage, which like I get first off, like yes, it's objectively a bad thing, but that gives you guys your moments to shine. Like if you're all
Yeah,
there
exactly.
together, that happens so much less, and you guys don't have as
Oh,
much
yeah.
to talk about,
Yeah, I feel like either me or Maria or John, sometimes Kano, we just like take the spotlight and hold it for a good bit.
Yeah.
And I really like.
see, and
I
the
really
thing
like how. Oh no, you keep going.
but the thing I've been trying to do with Kano is only try to get the spotlight when it comes to like near combat situations, or if I feel like somebody needs to be intimidated.
Yeah,
But
that's
but that's when but I've been trying to. I don't know if it's
It's-
working, but that's when I try to step back for the rest of it. That's why I don't say a lot of times.
Also, the other aspect of it as well when you're in groups, especially, is like you as a person may not be trying to take another person's spotlight, but your character absolutely would say something in the moment.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
for
yeah.
sure.
So then you're going against of like, okay, for this character, it's better for them to say something and me not to say anything. But my character would just intervene at this point. Like they would say something.
Yeah. They would.
And if you're together, you're kind of forced to that. But if you're apart, you don't have that limitation. You can just sit back, enjoy, be a spectator, and watch
Yeah.
that person do what they need to do.
I feel like it's weirdly fun playing an apathetic player.
Yeah.
Like being able
yeah.
to kind of just be like, I have almost no input in what goes on in the next scene.
Yeah.
Also, it was kind of cool to actually have like, I have this thing happening to me, and it's almost like we're going to go on a quest line after the bank to go and try and heal me.
Oh yeah. That was my
And now
intention.
I'm like, I feel like Zephyr is, the walls are starting to come down a little bit more. Just even with Kano going out of his way to go and ask someone whether or not they knew anything.
Yeah.
Like I don't
And
think
props for Kano for going to the right place, by the way.
like I don't think that Zephyr has actually told people that they are cursed. Like maybe
No, I know.
well, no, like and like when it first happened, I was like freaking out. But I feel like since the trip, I just have not mentioned it.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I mentioned it when we figured out that I broke the pearl, and then like I was like, oh, I'm cursed, and then like shut down, and I haven't mentioned it since any of that.
Well,
And all of my mention of me being cursed has either been in character, like, and I will mention that I'm not cursed; it's a friend.
Yeah.
And but Kano remembered and went out of his way and asked someone else.
Well,
I feel like
also,
Zephyr is like,
even though like you may not roleplay it as much, I think it would be like very evident if your body has this curse. Like,
Yeah.
thing disadvantage on all these saving throws, right? Like that's gonna come through, and they're gonna see like you're gonna have issues just walking normally. Like you're not
That is
gonna be
true.
normal.
exhausted
When you
and
try to
stuff,
pick
yeah.
up things, you're gonna be huffing and puffing. Like you're just gonna be worse at everything that you do.
I think it's weirdly enough, I feel like it doesn't affect, because it doesn't affect ability checks. It
No, it
only
doesn't.
it only affects saving throws.
Correct.
Wait till
So
your
I feel
next
like
curse.
We heard about first curses, but what about second curses?
I feel like it's not so much like I'm stumbling. It's that like whenever you try and like say her name, she takes a moment to react to it, or
Yeah.
because saving throws are all reactions.
Sure.
So I feel like
Yeah.
her reflexes, her like
Are out
the
of-
witty yeah.
If someone throws you like a stick, it'll probably hit you
I'm
before you grab
absolutely
it.
not going to grab it. You know, I feel like it's not so much like, it's like maybe if I trip or fall, I might not be able to catch myself.
Yeah.
I don't
Also,
think
her
I.
immune system's weaker now, so
My
if
immune
any of us
system's
were to
weak.
cough on her, she would get sick.
Or
I-
imagine like
yeah.
someone even just like joking with you, and like you may not realize that they're joking as quickly as you used to.
Right.
You
Have to
know,
take
because
a
it affects
second.
your mental as well.
Yeah, exactly. As I'm saying, it's like maybe I wouldn't say a witty comment as like in that one area.
Yeah.
It would take me like a second to figure out and be like, oh, I should have said that there.
Yeah.
Or
Oh yeah.
I feel
Kind of
like it's very
interesting.
interesting.
I feel like curse, like for like a lot of ailments and illnesses and whatever, they kind of have like some kind of flavor text about like how it affects you and how it like makes you look physically. And I'm betting that like she's got like bags under her eyes and like there's something like physically evident that she is cursed.
She just, I pictured it and she looked exhausted.
Yeah.
But I feel like Zephyr has always been in situations where it's like she has to fix the problem. Because
Isn't exhausted like a status that
it
like
is.
Yeah,
It means
exhaustion
you have
is like
disadvantage on all its ability checks.
And exhaustion
Stacks.
ramps up really fast and how bad it can get.
Yeah, it
Really
stacks.
fast.
But I meant
yeah.
more like when you see somebody exhausted, they just kind of slumped over, sluggish.
Yeah.
All that, yeah.
But I do feel like even though she might have looked like that, she is used to her and her brother fixing all the problems that they make. Like not used to really relying on someone. And I've always been flavoring this as like, you know, Zoro's not here right now, and I'm just with these two after his bear died. You know,
Yeah.
he's depressed.
I
And I
imagine
feel
that's
like
also hard
yeah.
for Zephyr because Zoro has always been there, and now Zoro
Yeah,
just
right?
needs to like grieve on his own. Like this is the first time he,
Right.
like this is grieving over the bear is not a shared experience. Like he's
No, it is
grieving over
not.
his bear, and I feel like Zephyr may be grieving over not having Zoro as involved in his
Right,
life.
right. I feel like I get where Zoro's come from, and I don't want to, like, put it, because I get the bear was a big thing for him. But in this moment, like, I feel like the curse is really getting to me, because while we were fighting, I was
Yeah.
still figuring it out, and it didn't really affect me. I feel like I want to flavor it as the curse getting worse over time.
Yeah.
Like, it starts to be more physically apparent. But
That can happen.
it was a weird thing when after I went to the magic shop, I almost like came out of the magic shop and I was like, dang it, I have no leads. To have an immediate lead and be like, oh, wait, hold on. I just like left the party immediately and you went on to ask him what about my curse? Like, it's a very weird,
And how do y'all feel about like the level of severity on the curse? Because I wanted it to be enough to where it mattered, but not too little that it was just like ignorable. Like I didn't want y'all
I
to
think
ignore it, but I wanted it something to have to be done, but not something that would prevent y'all from actually playing the game. No, like I don't want to make
I
it like
feel
a
like-
Gale situation
I
with
feel like
Baldur's
it's good.
Gate, where like, hey, if you don't
I
do
feel
this
like-
thing, you're gonna lose. Everybody's just gonna die. You know?
I feel like if you had chosen, or if it had worked out differently, like if I had been the one to break it, like we would be putting everything down until we fixed it because my character couldn't handle it.
Yeah.
right,
But
right. Like,
Zephyr is made of sterner stuff than Jarthur in more ways than one,
I
and
feel like, yeah.
she's also more likely to be outside of combat and not
Yeah.
getting hit by stuff.
I feel like it's still a priority, especially for Zephyr, being like, yeah, it's all saving throws, but I can still play with the character.
Yeah.
And I feel like if it was going to hit anyone in the party, I think it hitting me
Yeah.
was the best person for it to hit.
Sure.
Because I don't get
I agree. Yeah,
right?
I do. Well, maybe you can make a case for Zoro, just because I think he has higher
Higher
stealth,
AC.
or he's more roguish than you are in class, but play style he doesn't necessarily
Yes,
play it. But
that's what I'm trying
he's
to
starting
say.
to. He's starting to shy away from the artificer side of things and more towards the true rogue.
That's what I'm saying is that my play style is like long range spellcaster rogue. Like
Yeah.
I am not up there in the mix. I do not choose any
Oh,
spells that could be used up there in the mix.
It would be awful for Kano because he's going to get hit the most. It would be awful for Jarthur because he needs to be hit the least.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like between me and
I
Zoro.
think I'd be okay combat wise.
Depends on the enemies I throw at you. I just haven't
Yeah.
thrown a lot of magic, but because part of that is me as a DM. Just I'm becoming more comfortable, right? And like the last couple of sessions were foray into that. But I mean, you're gonna
I
have
feel
more
like-
than you had in the first like 12
But I
sessions.
mean-
I don't
I
really
mean-
have any saves for you guys, really.
No, but even here's the thing, Kano, in combat, especially the last combat, you go against any spellcaster and you're rolling saving throws the entire combat. Like
Yeah.
Yeah, but my saving, well, I also have the Jarthur has it now, but the Ring of Protection, which gave me a +1.
Yeah, just saving
That did help.
right?
that is
Okay.
true. But I feel like for play styles, I'm the best person to get cursed.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
agree.
I feel like right now she's got bags under her eyes, but isn't like slumped over. And I
Yeah.
feel like as we continue doing this, she's gonna get more and more slumped over, and like maybe starts like forgetting things, because short-term memory is a reflex.
Yeah.
So being like, what was that? Like,
If you decide to go that route, it will be very interesting to see how you roleplay that.
yeah, I think I might try role-playing just being forgetful.
Yeah, that could be.
I'm
that
gonna
could be
play
a lot
with
of fun.
one
and just
headphone
like
in.
slowly get worse and worse and worse.
I have early stage dementia. I keep forgetting where I keep putting things.
Yeah.
You're just describing my usual day-to-day, Maria.
Well,
Maybe you're
here's the thing.
cursed.
Honestly, I can tell you're sick, David, because you are very similar to me in being sick. Like, sometimes you just pause and like, what was I doing? Oh yeah, I was doing this. I was looking up this ruling that I was supposed to look up 45 seconds ago, but then forgot. You know?
No, but here's the thing. How do you?
I do that all the
role-play-
time, to be fair.
Okay, fair.
How do you role play being cursed, having disadvantage on saving throws for specifically wisdom and charisma?
Yeah.
Like for
Well,
intelligence.
charisma,
I think it'd be
I've
worse
heard
in
somebody
dialogue.
talk about it as charisma being force of will. So like, it's not so much like your boisterousness or being able to relate to people. It's like
My
how
willpower is
tangible you are present as an individual. And like a charisma saving throw is like someone's trying to influence you, like,
So
and
basically,
you're
I'm
not
my
as sure in yourself, basically.
yes, I have low confidence.
Well, also you could also break it up
Anxiety.
if you go with like the aspect of saving throws are reactions, ability attack, or ability checks are more like a proactive. I won't say action, but a proactive versus
So
reaction.
now my reaction is to be low confidence.
Yeah. So like
Yes.
you
In a
in
situation.
dialogue, like you have two different things. Like if you're going to a store and you're purposely starting a conversation, you like that would be like your
Are being proactive,
role,
yeah.
right? But then if they say something like off color, like, oh yeah, my grandma died. I feel like then you're like, wait, how do I respond to that? Like if you have to think
Right,
about
it
a response and it
responds
call you
to
off
it.
guard, maybe that would play more into it than necessarily I want to buy 3 dozen eggs, you know.
Yeah, exactly. My grandma died. Cool. I want to buy 3 dozen eggs.
Yeah, give me my eggs.
I'm Gaston now, apparently.
No one. Copyright claim.
But I really liked today's episode because it honestly I looked up and I was like, oh, it's already 9.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, it went by so quickly. I mean, we did get a slightly late start, to be fair.
we did.
But
No, it was sub 3 hours for sure. It was like 2:46, I think.
hey, it'll be a shorter episode for the people watching at home. Imagine that. Maybe we'll actually get
Maybe
somebody
they
to
can
watch
sit
this
through a whole
point
one
here.
this time.
Maybe.
what was that?
Maybe. I don't know if anyone's ever done it, honestly.
I mean, I've watched all the way through some of them,
What
but
was that?
mostly for editing purposes.
No, I'm kidding. I feel like now I'm gonna be saying what was that more often
Yeah. What
because
was
it
that?
plays into the character, but I feel like it's gonna ruin the audio if I keep saying what was that.
Also, another thing I will say is I think this is the best post discussion we've ever had.
Yeah.
Definitely.
What do you mean best post production?
Post
Post
game talk.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I just
we
feel like
were
so much
not
happened
sidetracked.
today.
Well,
we were
hold up. The
definitely
first
talking
10
about
minutes
the
we
game.
were.
Okay,
The first
hold
10
on.
minutes
The
we were.
bug
Then we
said-
got
That's
into the meat
fair.
of it, and we
That's
really
fair.
delved into the meat of it.
Well, because I feel like there was so much to delve into. Usually we don't have
Well-
this much like characters.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
mostly we tend to go more on the side of combat.
Yeah.
And I honestly, like, as a player, I prefer the combat because
Yeah.
flexing my non-existent roleplay muscles is not
Not as big
my
as Kano's muscles on his muscles.
Yeah, muscles on muscles on
Muscles
muscles.
on Adam's apples.
And I tend to
friggin'
like the
24
role
pack.
play. Yeah, I feel like I tend to like the role play just a
I
little
like
bit
role
more.
playing.
Yeah.
I feel like. Go for it. I'm
I
sorry.
feel bad that John couldn't be here because, like, this session.
Oh, he would love this.
Yeah. Because this session I designed as being like, okay, we've had some very intense combat the last few sessions. We're going to take a step back. We're going to chill. We're going to have some things that don't mean anything, just some casual role play. Drop a couple hints, give a couple small quest threads,
Yeah,
and call it a
exactly.
day. And it turned out being more important than that character development wise than any of the combat really has been, or most of the combat anyways.
Some of it, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I also feel like it was such a it was very chill, and
Yeah.
there wasn't like a lot of the other sessions. I feel like, oh, why are we wasting time doing this? We have to get to this, like, because
Yeah.
in that episode we'll have planned that we're going to a certain place and we need to
Yeah.
get this
Yeah.
done.
Well,
But
I know sometimes
this one,
John actually becomes the voice
Mhm.
for some of the stuff,
Yeah.
and I think this was a way for all of us to actually get out and do a little
Yeah.
bit extra.
well, that is true because my character is apathetic and will just usually follow along with whatever John, like my brother, does.
Yeah, which
Like,
goes back
that's
to
how
the
I
same
make-
point
yeah.
of splitting the party.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
creating
Like,
more, which is what this is. You know,
yeah.
it is just splitting the
Yeah.
party. You know, and y'all
Yeah, we split the
even
party,
more after you split
like-
the party, which gave way for some
But
more things.
but there are times where I feel like John
Yeah,
and then Jarther, those are the two.
yeah,
Well, I say John, Zorro
yeah. they're
end
more-
up being like the mouthpiece for
yeah,
the party,
they're definitely the more dominant.
and then
in
like
terms
you
of
know,
Yeah.
making plans and stuff. Yeah,
and so
Well-
for me, I just had Kano basically sit
Well,
back
yeah.
and then be
I
like,
think
okay,
I think there's two reasons for that. First off, I think part of it is Jarther being the moral compass, trying to guide
Yeah.
correctly.
Yes, exactly.
And I think the other part of it is John wanting to move along story-wise. Not necessarily Zora wanting to move along, but John just wanting to get stuff done. Because, you know, it takes so long to do some things. Which, like, I've made
Yeah.
it clear as a DM, that's fine. You guys have all the time in the world until you die. You know?
yeah, that's pretty fun.
I don't care how slow y'all are.
And I feel
Or
like
the fact
me
that
and-
I've had
me
that
and-
song prepared
yeah.
for 3 whole sessions, and I'm just now getting to do it today. You know?
And I feel like me and
That was really great, by
Yeah.
the way.
I
That was
actually
really
yeah,
funny.
because
I
at
love the
first I was
song,
like,
though,
oh my
yeah.
god, oh my god.
When
Yeah.
Then
that
once
song
you got
happened,
into it, I was like,
Yeah.
man, this is pretty
No,
cool.
I started Rocky, and I'm like, okay.
the song was pretty good, man. I gotta be honest. I feel like me and Kano's characters though are like we have our moments where we're like, this is what my character is built for.
We
And
have
this is
very
why I'm going to do
specific
this.
areas
Right.
where we actually.
Like both me and Kano are the distraction. We
Yeah.
are
Mhm.
the you go up there, you intimidate. I go up there, I go persuade. And
Y'all
in
are
those
the fluff
moments,
to accomplish the end goal.
Yeah.
right. We are the plot points,
See,
but we're not
and,
so much the leaders.
and to
Not
me,
the driving force.
Zephyr and Kano are basically to the point where it's like, okay, y'all had your chance to talk. Now it's time.
Yes,
we get
exactly.
past the talking. And that's
Right,
when
like
I really
John-
tried to sit
yeah.
down with Kano and be like, okay, you've talked to him for however long.
Yeah,
They're not budging. I'm trying it my way now.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. John.
Too bad I didn't have
Zorro,
a charm person prepared. That would have been pretty
yeah.
funny.
I mean, but Zorro and Jarther are so like they're so analytical. If you know what I mean, they're like, let's try and do it this way and do it this way. And me and Kano are impatient. Like it's not working this way, we're doing it this way.
Yeah, and
So-
that's
So, question: what do y'all think Zora would have done in that encounter with the merchants, the second pair?
Oh, he probably would have figured out.
pickpocketed. He would have
He
pickpocketed.
probably would have figured out that it was fake.
Yeah,
I feel like because he's got such a high perception,
yeah,
or figured
insight.
out like something was off with him, and like he probably would have been like, you know, given Kano a psych message being like, "Don't bother, it's fake."
Yeah.
Whatever.
I feel like
See,
it would
I
have
know.
been much earlier, and we would have probably
Either that,
had-
or he would have
left.
just like fully knocked them out before we even saw them,
Yeah.
and was like rummaging through their pockets for loose change.
See, I
Either
just-
or. I'm not
I-
really
now
sure
me,
which.
I picture Zorro going up and talking to him, and then doing the message like, "Oh, everything's fake," and then we just like, "All right, you guys have fun. Maybe we'll travel to Pumpkin Town." And
Here's
then
the
we
thing.
go on.
Here's the thing. I think it would be like something along the situations of John didn't roll high enough on any of his stuff, but he really wants one of the items, and so he'll just roll to try and like steal it from the guy, and me and Kano have to be a distraction or something like that.
Yeah.
Because that's usually what happens when we go up to merchants and John wants something.
I could also see him making a reemergence of good cop, bad cop, because
Good
that,
cop.
Yeah.
that is the perfect
Yeah.
setup.
We've done
That
that.
was
We
very
did
You
good.
that
did it
one other
before,
time.
and it worked out great. And this was a perfect setup for that. Kano, obviously, you're the bad cop. You know,
Mhm.
he just needs that good cop to come along and kind of butter things up a little bit. You know.
Whereas
I
Jarther's
feel like
not
And
on
like
that
both me and
wavelength.
Jarther aren't good. We might be good cops, or Jarther might be a good cop,
Jarther's
but we're
not a
not.
good cop. He's a social worker.
Yeah, exactly. I feel, and I'm not a cop.
DHS. Or not DHS.
What
See,
is the?
I'm not either. I'm the college student that's just like auditing this for some
Yeah.
reason and is like,
Wait, no.
what the heck is going on?
What is Zephyr then? What is Zephyr in this equation? A passerby or a bystander?
You said it yourself. You're eating popcorn as most of this happened until the
Oh,
guy
yeah,
ran
that's
away. You
Yeah,
know?
that's true.
I feel like I stopped for a moment, got my pan out, started popping.
The bad
popcorn.
cop's college student roommate.
Yes, I am the
See,
roommate.
what I like is the fact that Maria doesn't even know that Zephyr's actually like one of... Kano's got two consciences.
Yeah.
Consciences.
Yeah.
And one is Jarther,
Yeah.
and the other is Zephyr.
Yeah. Yeah, that checks out.
Jarther's the one that's like, don't attack, don't attack,
Yeah.
don't attack. Zephyr's the one that's like, calm down, calm down. You know what? Go for
Let's
it.
just say, out of
Exactly,
experience,
exactly.
Zephyr is the dominant personality there.
I feel like
Zephyr
Sorry.
at this point, Zephyr is the type of person that is like, we're gonna try like 2 or 3 things, right? Like with those badgers, right? I tried we tried like feeding them something, we
The
tried
druids.
animal handling, and then after those things didn't work, I was like, kill them. We got it. And then they ended up being druids, and I was like, man, maybe me yelling "kill them" wasn't the
Maybe
way
that
to
wasn't
go.
a smart play.
But like I feel like that is Zephyr's character. Like we tried Plan A and Plan B, we're on to Plan C, and we're
Yeah.
doing, And Plan C usually is kill them.
Yeah.
If you're wondering.
Plan
Oh.
K.
I will also say, I've tried to plan things that like are character development for you guys instances,
Mhm.
and they don't always work as I intend, and most of the time they don't. And legitimately, that was not my plan at all this session. Like,
I love that.
just random throwaway NPCs on an encounter. That's all everybody was, you know.
Nice
And y'all
character
ran with
development.
it, and it was great.
Yeah.
This
The,
is probably one of the
uh,
more fun ones, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
I
To
feel
me,
like
the song was about equal to the play.
Really,
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. The
No
song was
shot.
great.
this song is not better
I
than
like
I
the
didn't
play
say better, I
better.
said
I'm
almost
sorry.
equal to
the
I-
play. I
the
think
song
is
was
so much
great.
better, in my
Well,
experience.
But I
It
mean,
was
we
better.
had to play. And
Chris
then we
is
did
there
the
next
role
to
play.
you. You know what
That's
I
what
mean?
I'm saying. You
We
didn't
can
have
only
one
hear it
dominant
through
thing.
the
and
online. We can only hear it through the online, but Chris is sitting right next to you. He probably heard it way better than we did.
Yeah,
So when I
was
get
probably
there, I'm
better
gonna need an
live.
encore.
yeah, yeah.
Because I'm going to be
Um,
honest, I saw the little ukulele thing,
Yeah.
and I was
When
like,
you
he'll
brought the
strum it,
ukulele out,
he'll
oh my
sing like
word.
2 or 3 words, and he played a whole song.
No,
I was like,
I wrote a whole song for it. Yeah,
I was like,
Dude,
yeah,
I made a plot story song for you guys.
When you brought the ukulele out, I went, no, it's a full instrument. Also, you asking me to sing a song?
Yeah.
I was like, yeah.
Well,
I
Here's the
honestly,
thing.
Maria, I thought you were gonna run down and grab your viola.
I wasn't gonna do that for a reason, is that I don't have musical instruments anymore because I'm no longer a bard,
yeah.
or like I no longer know how to use them. That's how I'm flavoring me no longer being bard. Actually, when I was thinking about doing the singing, I was like, what if I try to sing very badly? Like I've forgotten how to like sing.
Oh man, that would have been great if you committed to that bit of just singing awfully.
But I was like, I didn't think of that until like 2 minutes after. I was like,
Yeah.
dang it, I should have
Yeah.
like,
Missed
because
opportunity.
I'm no longer a bard.
Yeah,
you know?
no. Yeah, I put the pressure on me in the moment. I'm like, I want to see what she does here. I'm just gonna ask her.
Well, and then I started singing "Leaves from the Vine" from Avatar: The Last Airbender, which is the song that Iroh sings while his son dies, or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah, that's.
And I was like, yeah, that's a
perfect
real
movie
crowd pleaser.
Yeah.
It is, but I mean, you have to be cultured.
From a vine. She'll look it up.
Anyway, copyright claim. Let's not. Anyway, where was I going with that? Oh yeah. I was gonna say that you guys all were saying that your characters are distractions, and it's like that is like my whole character. I built him to be like this illusionist who would be like trapping people in his version of reality, like AKA Mysterio, you know? And
But
like what's
they're
ended up
not-
happening
Your
is like
distractions aren't your
they
distractions.
never work.
We are the distractions.
That's not
You
true.
make
They do work.
distractions.
Your distractions are more combat centered. It almost seems like.
Right.
That's true. That's true.
Well,
they have been
also-
more combative.
You are not a distraction. Your illusions are distractions to
Yeah.
like do whatever you want. Like
Yeah.
I feel like me and Kano go along with what the party wants, and will just be a distraction in a case, or at least
and
that's what
I'll
I
point
do.
out-
I go along.
Also, that it's not true that your distractions never work, because they work more often than they don't.
That is
That's
true.
Example, like
It's like outside of combat, like I think I've only hit like one where it's really worked out well.
Okay, yeah. So like in combat, there's that one at the Goblin Cave, which we all remember. Like that's the one that sticks out most. That's been the most effective
exactly.
in combat.
Yeah.
That
Even
was like what was that? That was the first session.
First
wasn't
session, yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
Even-
First session.
Even
We
today,
bait out like all of them and ambush them with an illusion. That was great.
yeah. Even today, though, like you distracted him to where he was willing to jump on Kano's shoulder.
Exactly.
So that was
exactly.
not-
The whole.
Yeah.
That doesn't work without both of you guys. Like it takes
Yeah.
both, and you both did it. You both passed your roles.
See, the
it
only difference I see
And then Maria
Is-
couldn't find anything in the
is
In
you
there,
have your
fine.
illusions,
There might not have been anything there.
but Kano and Zephyr have to sell it more
Right,
because
yeah,
they
yeah.
only get one shot. You can take a couple of different ways to.
Yeah.
Yeah, well-
the failure of
But, I mean-
a trick like that with an illusion is so much less than failing in person.
Yeah, because what if he didn't climb on my back, or I couldn't persuade
What if
him.
I failed my stealth check and he saw me, open up a tarp or something
Yeah.
like that?
Like that.
Well, it's
that
also
encounter
like-
only works if each of you did exactly what you did in the moment.
Yeah.
I feel like the whole I've been like really using minor illusion for a lot,
Yeah.
but I lost my train of thought.
I just want to let you guys know that I have a plus 10 to stealth, a plus 11 to deception, and a plus 11 to persuasion.
Man, those double proficiencies, bro.
Because I don't technically get a double proficiency on the deception, but I have the item that Eric gave me like
Yeah.
8 sessions ago
Yeah.
that basically gives me gives me expertise in 3
What is it?
stats.
Plus 3
technically.
to deception?
Yeah, it's plus 3. But
Yeah.
my proficiency bonus is plus 3.
Yeah.
So, deception used to be my highest stat until I hit 5th level in sorcerer, and now I get a plus 3 bonus. But
Crazy.
Oh, I forgot. Y'all guys leveled up. What were the level ups at level 7?
I got more
Um,
hit points, and I got 2 3rd level spell slots, but only 1 3rd level spell, basically.
Gotcha.
And I prepared. It's called Melf's Minute Meteors.
Okay.
And it's basically it's I like make 6 meteors appear around me, and on that turn and as a bonus action on multiple turns, I can send them out, and they basically act as like one scorching ray that I
Okay.
hit a point, and everyone within 5 feet of that point takes 2d6 damage
Oh,
after
nice.
a dex
That's
save.
solid.
So like mini fireballs, basically.
Yeah, mini fireballs. And I
So
was like,
consistent
it's-
mini firebells. I like that. That's
yeah, it's
cool stuff.
concentration, and I feel like when I have them up, I could probably they're making smoke. I could probably hide in said
Oh yeah,
smoke. I don't
absolutely,
know.
for sure. That totally works for a concentrating stealth archer sorcerer. That is a perfect spell for that build.
You're right. I was looking at it, and I was like, I've never used this spell before, and I think I gave myself. No, I think I only gave. That was the only spell.
All right, and Kano, what did you get at level 7?
You didn't realize?
What? What? Yes, I clearly.
I took 2 fighter,
Okay,
So I ended up with action surge,
yep,
and then my
second
Ooh,
surge.
action surge.
Classic.
In second, yes. Action
and
surge is
Arthur,
going to be
I already
nice.
know the answer to yours, but you're going to tell them too.
So I went ahead and did my level up, and I think I chose Lightning Bolt as my spell
Ooh,
for
I
this
love
one.
lightning
So
bolt.
I have some kind of really high damage. Situational, I know, but like I'm hoping to get anything. And then one of the random spells I got was my 4th level spell slot. I have one spell slot, and it's Conjure Minor Elementals. So that'll be fun. I'm trying to remember what the other spell I got was.
That's the thing about
From the
sorcerers is
random
we get
thing.
a lot less spells. Did I even get another spell?
The final
I
thing I
should've.
got was Ray of Enfeeblement, which was a thing.
You should have gotten another spell slot or spell at level up. I think. Actually, maybe you
Depends
didn't.
on what she leveled up.
Sorcerer.
Because
Sorcerer and Warlock level
sorcerer,
up weirdly.
sorcerer is you. I think you forget a spell and then you gain 2. But I didn't want to forget a spell,
Yeah.
so I don't. Because I should only know 6 spells.
Yeah, Ray of Enfeeblement. Sorry.
Ray of Enfeeblement is also a solid spell too.
Yeah.
It can be.
Oh.
It's another concentration.
Yeah. Also,
Yeah.
between YouTube Shorts yesterday and the TikToks today, we have amassed over 5,000 views.
We have TikToks?
We have TikToks.
Woo! Yeah, we do.
Do we?
Yeah,
we
it's.
do have TikToks.
Did not know that.
You made like what?
Today. I posted
four or
I think
five
the
shorts.
Y'all
short
post
was
it
like
when I'm
11.
at work and I can't pull my phone up.
Yeah, so like I just posted the same 4 videos on TikTok that we posted on YouTube Shorts. YouTube Shorts was like just under 3,000. Pretty much all of those views have leveled off. What's interesting about TikTok? What's that?
No, sorry. It's under 3,000 now.
It's like 3-ish.
Yeah, it's just under 3.
What?
And then I don't see that budging much anytime soon. And then the other thing is TikTok. What's interesting is like, so there's a view spread on the shorts. There's not on the TikToks. The lowest viewing one is 564. The highest viewing is 607. So there's only 40 view difference between the 4 videos I posted.
So that's around what is it?
And
2,000-ish.
Yeah, so it's a little over 2,000. So a little under 3,000, a little over 2,000 puts us right at 5,000 views in the past 24 hours.
That's crazy.
So, and then even another thing that was interesting is on YouTube, we had more people like coming to the channel and actually like subscribing because our subscriber count went from
it's 15. It's 15 now.
5 to 15, I think.
Yeah, well, one of those was me on my other account. So realistically,
also one of them was me too. One of them was me too.
I think one of them was my.
I don't know.
So
one of them was my brother-in-law, and one of them was my mom.
On TikTok, we had less likes but more comments than YouTube.
Oh, really? What were the comments?
Well, if I'm excluding mine, which I commented and reacted to it myself. So, on the one of Kano recounting, Chris recounting Kano's encounter with the spiders, somebody commented and said, "People talking about their campaigns like this inspires me to work past my writer/depression block to continue making my homebrew campaign." So,
that's great. That's great.
Great.
If that person commenting is watching now, that's also great.
So, to which I replied, "Glad to hear. This is my first campaign in a homebrew world," which is true. It's also my first campaign. Didn't tell that part. Though it's a lot of work, it's been very rewarding. And then they responded, "Awesome. I got a reply. What a boost."
Oh, that's so nice.
And then the other comment we had on TikTok was a guy who, for Jarthur's clip, when I'm rolling to attack and then Maria does silvery barbs.
And it still hits.
Yeah, and he says just the casual 12 still hits. So,
Unfortunately, yes.
well, still hits. So, anyways, yeah, I still think short form content is going to be like the best way to actually grow the channel and get eyeballs. I mean, I spent an hour, maybe an hour and a half, getting those 4 videos uploaded to both platforms. And
that's not too terrible.
are
You
the-
gotta walk me through how you did it. At some point.
it's really. I watched one video that was 8 minutes long, and then I just experimented with the rest. It was really simple.
Okay.
So,
because if I, as I said, free time is me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Unfortunately.
And really, like, the thing that's going to be most labor intensive is going to be finding the timestamps that we want clipped.
Like, yeah, that is true.
If someone went through and just wrote down timestamps, it wouldn't take long at all for someone to go through and just make clips at those exact moments.
I tried doing that, but then I found out when it's the really good parts is when I'm into it the most, and then I don't.
You zone out. Yeah.
Exactly. We forget to write down the timestamps in the moment.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, there's definitely a lot more moments. I mean, we have a lot of footage. We got, 10, 12 after today?
At least.
14, 16, 18 hours content?
Something like that, yeah.
There's a lot to scour there and actually find good stuff.
Because we started uploading, 4/29? So...
Yeah.
So that's
crazy.
5 sessions.
We got 5 full
so much more
sessions
fun.
with, over 3 hours each. That's 15, plus you add all the character spotlights. That probably puts us close to 17, 18.
Yeah.
So
this has been so much more fun. That when I first started out doing this, I was like, oh, we had to start with first level characters. What is this?
Yeah.
But and also I didn't really have what I wanted my character to be. John was like, okay, we're this and that, and I was like, I have 2 ideas for my character.
Yeah.
And we'll see how it plays. And I feel like we have all really been able to play and figure out what our characters are, and it's so much fun.
For sure.
Now
we've definitely done a lot to nail down our characters.
Yeah.
And also just having the 3 prongs of where we're going in the storyline, and I feel like there's actually kind of a story now. The beginning 3 sessions were kind of just
it was more than
and
3.
we're going on a building.
Yeah, because it was more we're getting gold to build the town. We need to build the town, and that seems like it was okay. We need a quest to get gold.
Yeah.
Now we're actually doing the story.
Sure. Yeah. Which is what my intention was. My intention was to get, because I knew I wanted you guys to start out at first level, because I really care about you guys feeling strong, and the best way to feel strong is to be weak.
Exactly.
I remember you telling me that when we first talked about doing it.
Because John hated it. He's like, I can't do anything cool at level 1. I'm like, that's the point, man. You're supposed to suck.
That's the point. And I realized that after... exactly.
No
after
apologies, John.
No apologies at all.
We had that bonding where it was we were almost dying.
Yeah.
There wasn't oh, we're competent, we're gonna go this. It was at the beginning we were very close to death.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you, the most awkward thing was going into combat and being the only one that was still alright.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I should be the one about dying, and I'm going, what in the world is going, I'm gonna tell you, there was a lot of pressure there at the beginning.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. You have to hit because you're the only one really doing anything. When they roll 2d6 damage,
especially once he's
20 damage.
Especially once he took Paladin, and that was a thing too.
Yeah.
You had that moment of well, do you use the lay on hands on yourself? Do you save it for when somebody goes down? And using your smite to get people and really hoping that it does a lot of damage.
You get that until the 2nd level Paladin, don't you?
I had
lay on hands.
No, you get lay on hands at level 1.
You get lay on hands level 1. Smite doesn't come until level 2.
Yeah.
Spell casting doesn't come until level 2. So.
Yeah.
But
that would be when you were what, level 4 or level 5?
Magic.
Yeah.
Lay on hands was the only thing I really wanted.
Yeah,
lay on hands
you
is
almost
smart.
always do magic.
Yeah,
and I remember you got that because you were poisoned. We got in an encounter, you got bit by a rat, you got poisoned by him, And then you were like, you know what? I don't want to pay money. I'm just gonna level up into paladin. That was your answer.
If I remember correctly, we had a conversation that he was on the fence about doing it anyways, and the poison was just the tipping scale.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah. And that was the most damage I had taken.
Yeah, it was.
He had an oath to his god because he.
No. I was going to quit with Paladin at level 2, so there was never going to be a. It was level 2 Paladin, level 2 Fighter, everything else in Barbarian.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying that becoming a Paladin usually means you make an oath. So his oath was, I'm getting rid of this poison, or something like that.
Yeah. It was a very conditional prayer. If you
I
get rid of my
follow
poison,
you.
I will serve you the rest of my life. All right? Bye.
I would probably
That
actually
could be
try to do like
pretty
Oath of
fun
Vengeance, but
subplot
reflavor it to like
Yeah.
Some other kind of oath.
Kano could easily do an Oath of Vengeance Paladin.
Fun subplot. We find Kano's like god or whoever was getting his power.
Simba.
And he's very mad.
You know what? That brings up another point. What is Zephyr's deity?
I don't think she has one. Sorcerer doesn't need one. It's an innate sorcerer bond. Like if I was a cleric or something else.
Is it not implied that your power of magic comes from somewhere or something? Even if it's not like a specific thing you know about, even if it's like in your blood, if it's inerrant, at some point something had to give that to you or hand it down to you, or even to the point where you like unlocked it within you, that it was within you all the time. That at some point in your genealogy, something happened to implement magical powers into your bloodline.
Sorcerers are born with innate magic.
The type of sorcerer I am playing is like lunar or something like that. Because I changed it. I didn't like the Abmerate mine after I said I was going to do that. I was reading it more and I was like, this is basically just John's character.
Yeah.
Because it was a lot of like psionic stuff.
Yeah.
And I didn't like it. And yeah.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I'm basically just getting. It's called like lunar sorcery, and your power is based off the phases of the moon.
Okay. And
so I'm like, I feel like, would it be fun if one of our parents was like half a werewolf or something like that? Or something, I don't know.
I think it would be cool if the powers got stronger at nighttime.
Right. I don't think that's how it works in the...
Speaking of powers stronger at nighttime, do you guys want to take on this bank during the daytime? Or do you want to, like, do, like, a night infiltration and, like, try to do it that way?
No, I have an idea. I'm going to go up there, ask if they're hiring. Get an application, start working there. Work there for, like, a week while I plan with a heist. Right? Figure out where the break room is. Get to know people's names. Figure out where keys are. Telling you, it could work.
I feel like we're just told everybody how to have to rob a bank. Anyway, on another note.
We're real quick on that note before we move on. If you decide to do that and you all agree that that's the path that you want to do, that will involve a one-on-one session for what happens.
It's
just see if you can make it long enough not to get fired, is what he's saying.
It's in my grueling internship. Like I have by the end of the week, I'm like I have my soul has left me. I made like.
Well, you're cursed, so maybe she's gonna be double cursed.
I'll be double cursed. I'll have the curse of corporate lingo. Hey, you know what? I just played Starfield, right? And in Starfield, there's a corporation called Ryujin. So I just did a lot of corporation like espionage-esque missions. So take me on at the bank, at the bad bank.
Mm-hmm.
Could do it. I'm so excited for heist. I don't even think it's a heist, but in my brain, it's a heist. I want to steal all the gold.
I kind of want to see it at night. I kind of want to do it at night because I want to watch Zoro and Zephyr do the whole stealth, sneak around.
Dude, Mission Impossible. Cut a hole. Drop Zoro down in there. Zoro sets up
Copyright,
one of, like, his
copyright,
little-
copyright.
Copyright.
No. Zoro sets up one of his little like artificer thingies, and then we pull him back up, and then we have his little thing crawling through the building and figuring out the key. Oh.
No. Kano will be at the top, lowering you down, and then pulling you back
Yes.
up.
Jarther's just gonna be like ready with a sleep spell to put everybody to sleep. I mean, I would use like silence, but I don't have it.
We
I love
have a
silence.
knight. Prepare it. Can you? Do you have it?
No, I
Can you
don't.
just? Oh, okay. Oh, that's sad. I wish we had silence. That would be such a good thing to bring into a bank.
That'd be pretty funny.
What
I don't
were you
think-
gonna talk
I-
about,
yeah.
Jarther or David? Sorry,
What?
your name is David. David, what else were you wanting to talk about?
I feel like there was something that was coming up, and I do not know what it was. Because
Okay.
my brain is not of the working at the moment.
Yeah,
Understood.
I do have to go put my bowl in the sink, and it is also 10, almost 10:30.
Yeah,
So I
that
probably
was.
should be going.
Dude, this is a longer than normal after session. So, but it was good.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
really good, guys.
Yeah, we talked about almost everything, I feel like.
Yeah. Alrighty.
I think we're.
I'm gonna say
Alright.
goodbye.
I'm gonna stop the recording. Bye, everybody.
Alright, I'll
Bye-bye.
cut it off here. Ish.